Hello y'all, welcome back to another one of my videos. Today's video is going to be a reading video. I'm going to see how much I can read in a day, just throughout. It's already like the afternoon. I've read about 2 hours right now. I'm currently reading, let me get her, A Tale of Witchcraft by Chris Colfer. I'm on page 148 of this book. We have made a good chunk through this book. I'm actually really pretty impressed with how far I've gotten. I've talked about this before, but this is the second book of A Tale of Magic. The first book is basically about the fairy godmother in the Land of Stories series. We kind of get her story and her growing up and how she came about to be this, figure in the fairy tale world. I'm gonna see what else I can dive into. I'm also on page 193 of The Darkest Hour. I'm actually interested in this now. It's still not amazing, but I definitely am more intrigued than I was before. So I would definitely like to finish this today, which would be super nice. And then I have this book that I'm in the middle of. I'm on page 67, but I'm not actually interested in reading this right now. Really great book, but I think I'm gonna soft DNF it and get back to it after this video. And I'm honestly intrigued to pick up like 2 books right now. The Scorpio Races, which is my most anticipated read, I think, of right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's just super anticipated of the books I have. Eileen really recommended this. I am on hour 4. Let's just say it took me a long time to finish this. I think I was on page 190. I haven't gotten a lot of sleep today. I'm so hurt. Anyway, I finished this book. I finished The Darkest Hour by Caroline Tung Richmond, and I think I'm gonna settle this book on a 2.5 star. That's what I'm gonna rate this. I didn't like this book that much. I was bored, which is crazy because how would you think like a woman espionage group would be boring? I found our main character difficult to relate to. I felt like there was a lot of plot holes. They kind of went with like this, there were so many different directions they were going that I was like thoroughly confused. And then I don't know, I guessed kind of part of the ending or whatever, and there's no real resolve, and I just feel, I don't know. I didn't like this book. I'm sorry to say that. Thought about DNFing it, which is kind of wild, but I didn't. I stuck it out, so yay. It is gonna continue listening to this book. Again, I cannot get off like how pretty this book is. Chris Colfer never stops with these beautiful, gorgeous covers. I don't know how much I'm gonna finish of this today. I obviously probably won't finish it. Maybe tomorrow I'll finish it. But I think for the sake of this video, I'm gonna start another book. And it's not gonna be this one because I think I might pee my pants. Because again, this is scary and it is late at night. But I don't know what this is about. I am getting in the comfy spot. Hold on, I need my blanket. I'm gonna start this book. We'll see how it is. I was so intrigued. I'm not really intrigued in this. I don't even know what I want to read. I'm in such a reading slump because of that book. It really broke me. Broke my stamina. I'm already in love with this writing. Like, let me just read this to you. This time of year I live and breathe the beach. My cheeks feel raw with the wind throwing sand against them. My thighs sting from the friction of the saddle. My arms ache from holding up 2,000 pounds of horse. I have forgotten what it is like to be warm and what a full night's sleep feels like and what my name sounds like spoken instead of shouted across yards of sand. I am so alive. That's beautiful. Literally already gonna cry. What the actual fluffernutter? What in the world? Obviously really late now, but I wanted to update you on my books. So for the Scorpio races, I made it to page 55. I made it to chapter 9. Writing this book is so lovely, okay? It's so lovely to read. Everything is really descriptive. There's a lot of just depth to what is being said and description in a way that is poetic, and I love that. What I have from it so far is I don't understand like this magic or whatever from these horses, but what I do understand is that they obviously cause a ruckus or whatever to people. They will like kill you, and once a year I guess they like come out, and there's like a race or whatever about that yet. But our two main characters, we have Puck, which her name is actually Katie. Super cute. I'm glad they introduced us by her nickname first, because there's a part in here where her older brother is like, Katie, get over here, and you're like, who's Katie? And then you're like, oh, it's Puck. And like in that moment, the character is like Puck, our character, is distraught and is like, whoa, like my brother called me by my real name or whatever. And so you as the character are kind of like, whoa, you feel that too. Whereas I feel like if we knew her name was Katie, I've just never really heard an author like do that genuinely. Basically, her older brother is like, I'm leaving. And I think we don't really have a reason why, but I would assume or infer that like they're not making enough money to sustain a living, just based off of what they've said, eating wise and lifestyle wise and all this stuff. So our main character, Puck, she is like, I'm gonna do the races, which the races, I guess you can get paid quite a big sum of money if you win. And she rides horses, like land horses, not seahorses. But they're not like seahorses. They call them a certain name. They're like water horses. And our other main character, his name is Sean. His family is also like dead, I think. His dad is. His mom, I think, went to the mainland and was just like deuces and left him. But he's actually really funny. Somehow he is controlling and like really good at managing the horses or whatever, the water horses, and he seems to be a really good rider. I don't know. We don't really delved too much into his story. We just know that he's really good at coaxing the horses, like the water horses. It's really confusing because there's just whatever. That's how you know I'm tired. For this one, I literally made it to page 216. I'm probably a little less than halfway in this book. It's really good. This book genuinely is flying really fast for some reason. I mean, I've read quite a bit. I just feel like it's flying by and it makes sense. I feel back in like this world and at home with it. And the writing, again, is just phenomenal. I just cannot talk enough about these books and Chris Colfer as a writer. I can't even say anything about this because it'll spoil stuff in the last one. But we're following Miss Lucy Gousset in this one, so a lot more than the first one. In the first one, we follow Bristol, and we kind of get her story, and now we're following Lucy Gousset, and she's trying to figure her life out. I've read like 7 hours today, and that's actually quite a lot. Like, I'm highly impressed with myself. How come when I did that like challenge video or whatever, I never finished my hours? Today I did. Killing it. Can you tell that I'm about to shower and go to bed? Just popping on to finish this video. So kind of like in the weekend, a weekend's worth, a couple days, I read 9 hours. Also, I feel like when I time myself, I obviously spend more time reading than normal. I just wanted to talk about what I read. I first started off with The Darkest Hour by Caroline Tung Richmond. I rated this book a 2.5 out of 5 stars, and it was not my favorite book. I had some further consideration of it, and I feel like I didn't justifyingly say last time, like earlier, what I thought of the book. But I'm also probably going to talk about it more in my wrap-up. But I really just wasn't entertained. There was some action scenes within this that were cool, but I feel like, number one, they just weren't really realistic. Like, they put so many weapons within pens. Like, oh, this is my tranq pen, and this is my pistol pen, and this is my friggin' knife pen. Like, can you please give me something other than a pen? You know? Like, it just wasn't creatively the strongest, I feel like. Ratings and all that stuff is a matter of an opinion, so I do feel really bad for bashing on somebody's hard work. But it just wasn't a good fit for me. Then I literally made it to page 349 in this book. It's A Tale of Witchcraft, Chris Colfer. This book is going swell. I'm flying through this series. I'm eating it up. It's so good. I freaking love Chris Colfer's writing. I love everything about it. I just love being in this world and all that stuff again. But this one is going well. I'm kind of guessing like what's gonna happen, where the plot's gonna go, so I don't know if knowing that and being right is gonna ruin that for me or not. We shall see. And I started The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater. I made it to page 59 in this, so I'm really at the slim picking with this. I kind of got a further detail. There's like something about the ocean and the water that is some magic system in that I can't quite figure out, but it makes like these horses and water horses like ballistic and crazy for some reason, so I don't really know why. But yeah, that's where we're at. I am digging it. I feel like I'm a little more attached to the female main character in this book than the male main character. We haven't really gotten a lot of depth on him yet. I mean, we learned a couple of key details in his story, but I feel like I don't know him. It's almost like the author is closing him off for a reason, and I think, you know, as the story progresses and maybe the relationship or whatever is going to happen with Puck and him, I feel like that is going to have something to do and kind of help him open up. So those were my thoughts. That was the reading I did. To be honest, finishing a book in 3 days and almost a second one and starting a third one, I feel like that's pretty good, to be honest. So I'm really happy with my reading, and it was cool to see. So really glad that you guys sat down and watched this video with me. Wait, sat down? I don't even know. I'm too freaking tired for this. Okay, so I'm gonna go. Peace. Yeah. Good night.